Hey, what is going on, everybody? You have no idea how happy I am to have made this video. When I first did my reveal 6 months ago, I was fairly new and had little experience in the realm of game dev. All of those devlogs I did were basically explaining how it was getting to that point. Because before I even went into the Unreal Engine, I had to make the concept art, 3D modeling, preparation for the Unreal Engine. It wasn't until my latest 3 or 4 devlogs, I think the episode about enemy types was when it truly hit home for me. Overall, I had to dig deep so I could fully understand what it meant to be a game developer. The challenges that come with this are too many to count and will make 90% of people who try this just quit. But if you can persevere through those challenges and find ways to keep moving forward, then that feeling is like no other. The purpose of this video is to shed light on the fact of me being a game developer, if you didn't know already. Also having a separate channel specifically for my gaming company. Identity Rebels is my very first project, and for this I wanted to complete 100% solo. Because for my second project after this, I plan on having a full team, one that has concept artists, animators, 3D modelers, the works. I already have a gaming company called Be Righteous Productions LLC, so things are already set in motion for this future endeavor. I have a lot of aspects I'd like to cover in this video. The first is an exciting announcement, and one that I believe is a great indication that Identity Rebels is moving forward. Now, if you rock with me, if you support me and love what I do, most importantly, if you believe in me, then here's what I'd like you to do. Go subscribe to the Identity Games channel right now, because I got a lot of big things that's about to happen. The announcement is that I've secured a partnership with Steam, and Identity Rebels has its very own store page. This is awesome, and at the moment my game is under review so that I'll be able to have an official store page which you will be able to go and wish list my game on. I wanted it to be available today, but unfortunately I found out too late that it has to go through a review process once you submit everything, so it's just a matter of time. Then you can wish list the game. It'll mean the world to me. With this store page, you can stay updated on everything that's going on with my project up until its release. And I do plan on Identity Rebels being on console as well, but it needs as much exposure as possible in order to get sponsorships for that, along with other connections to go with it. So let me tell you a bit about my project. It's an open world RPG looter shooter. There are different factions, areas to explore, and enemy types of all kinds. My gaming experiences through life have brought me to the way I wanted to make my game. So games like Skyrim with its unforgettable open world map, Gears of War and how the PvP was incomparable to any in my eyes at that time, all the way to The Division with everything that it brings. All of these games and many more are what inspire Identity Rebels. But of course, I've added a bit of my own style. Let me briefly talk to you about how the gameplay will be in general. It's a mixture of utilizing skills that come on a chest armor combined with the perks from gloves, shoes, and headgear that you have equipped. This is how builds are made. There are weapon talents that are thrown into the mix as well, so there'll be tons of combinations of builds to choose from. The game will be co-op and multiplayer, with a campaign including in-game, which I plan on being engaging to say the least. And when I say that, I mean activities that actually keep you wanting to come back. I have ideas planned for PvE and PvP. Let me give you one example. There's a location on the map south of the Liberation Lands called Regime City, a place where its citizens are subjected to an unjust authoritarian way of living. And there will be a game mode after completing the campaign called Liberation. It's similar to a survival scenario where you attempt to escape the city with limited resources, picking them up along the way. This will also take place in no man's land in the dead zone. Maybe. There'll be safe zones. Citizens within the city walls that want to help you will open their homes for you, like rebels who are trapped within who don't agree with the system, but their circumstances won't allow them to leave, so they assist you the only way they know how. In these safe houses, you can craft gear based on what you've gathered from outside, weapons, ultra tech, etc. If you manage to get out of the city, you'll be rewarded with loot only tied to liberation. One particular exotic weapon called Instinct, which you have a chance to attain when opening those loot boxes after completing that mode. Now, of course, you will be able to decide whether or not you want to do this in PvE only or PvE VP. It'll be your choice. There'll also be PvP exclusive modes as well. But the point is that in order for in-game to be successful and memorable, PvP, I think, should be in the picture. This makes for a different experience every time around. This is why survival from the Division 1 and Counter-Strike are still viable to this day, just to name a few. If you want to know more about the lore of Identity Rebels, enemies, allies, or areas on the map, then click the link in the description to join the official Discord channel. There you'll have direct access to me where you can discuss the game if you like or input your ideas. It's overall a fun place to be. It may seem like a lot is going on with the enemy types such as the Abominate, who can sometimes look like monsters, because I know many of you like your game grounded in realism, right? And someone in my Discord even said this, and I quote, "I may have just missed it, but what type of game are you going for?" I thought it was going to be something like Division, grounded in reality. That enemy looks more like an alien or mutation zombie enemy. Listen, I respect this guy, and he's been a supporter of mine for quite a while, and I do want my game to be grounded in reality, but with a bit of fantasy. And if you understand the origin of the Abominate, then it's very easy to see that this could happen, because the Abominate are mutations, a slow process taking years after the nuclear cataclysm caused by the regime. It's just exaggerated a little. But I didn't forget about the military origin many of you come from when it comes to gaming. The Division's factions and your own character who has an entire arsenal of skills and weapons which rely heavily on gameplay. I didn't forget about that. And that's why I created the regime, a heavily militarized syndicate, the main protagonist faction, and one I discussed in my latest devlog episode. I even showcased an assault on the outpost they've established in the wasteland. So this game is heavily rooted in what you and I as gamers love. Sometimes I just think that I don't want to give up too much about my game in these devlogs. I want to keep it kind of a secret and a surprise until it comes out. But it's a little difficult trying to manage and understand how to do that while still giving you a lot of details about the game, if that makes sense. But I'm doing the best I can. And there's one more thing that I'd like for you to do if you so choose. I'll have the link to that devlog here in a minute, but I want to tell you I made a Patreon specifically for this project and future endeavors. With this, you'll have access to exclusive videos and information I've personally had access to for your learning purposes, or if you just want to see them. More rewards are to come later, but as I said, this is a solo project and all of your support is appreciated. Even if you want to support me on the strength of me doing this by myself and helping me through it, because overall, I want to be a content creator through and through. I would love to do this full time. And this is just another stepping stone that would help me with that. All of the links to everything I discussed are in the description. But to continue this part of the journey, click this video and you can see more about the regime and everything about the world of Identity Rebels. I'll see you there. Be right out.